You want to waste the entire human lifetime for a relationship? Nowhere in Shastras are teaching you that waste your entire lifetime just on one bad relationship and your marriage may be bad. If it is your karma, that is the kind of person you got it. You deal with it for some time. Karma has an expiry date. Karma is not something that goes on and on for forever. No. Karma gets over. Karma has an expiry. And what if somebody has that expiry right 1 year after the marriage, 6 months after the marriage, 10 months after the marriage? Namaste. Jai Shivaya. Today we are going to talk about a very sensitive and very important matter actually. A lot of people, when they watched my videos about marriage and this and that, they, started coming to me asking questions as if, that our Shastras, Hindu scriptures I'm talking about here, so Vedas and Upanishads and Dharma Shastras, different Dharma Shastras and Purans and this and that and all kinds of Shastras clubbed together, okay? So all the scriptures, Indian, Hindu, Sanatana Dharma scriptures is what we are talking about here. And especially Vedas and Upanishads and anything that came out from Vedas. They say that they do not have anything like divorce because marriage is something which is for forever and it's a karmic thing and karmic relationship, and karmic relationships are for the entire lifetimes and it's for forever thing, and our Shastras never talk about divorce. Okay? Now the first mistake, major mistake that people make while deciphering all these Vedas and Upanishads and Shastras is that these Shastras, these scriptures are talking about any and every karmic bondage that you ever had, right? They are talking about moksha. So forget about divorce. They are talking about any and every relationship. So may it be a relationship or your attachment to your parents, right? Or it could be to your property, to your house, to your kids, to your children, to your friends, to anybody and everybody. All those attachments and all those bondages have to be broken. Now, it's just that there is a legal bondage between, if we think from the present time period that we are living in, there is a legal bondage between parents and children as well, which is broken by all sannyasis, right? All the sannyasi, all those who become sannyasi, all those who become, official renunciates, they break any and every relationship that they might have. So that very same Shastra is teaching you to break any bondage, anything that you may have to attain moksha. So will these Shastras then say that a relationship like a marriage is a karmic bondage, so you should not break it if required for the right purposes? No. They're not saying In Hindi, you can call it, breaking of marriage, sambandh vichhed, you can call it. So nothing like that. Another thing that we need to understand, which is very important here, is Shastras, whether Vedas or Upanishads, they never talk about what if you don't do something. So they are teaching you about the right things. They are teaching you about dharma. So they'll teach you about, okay, you should practice Indriya Nigraha, or you should practice Pratyahara, you should practice Dharana Dhyan, you should practice Yam Niyam. And in those Yam Niyam, if we pick up a small example of, never lying, aste, never stealing and never lying, these kind of things. So they do not talk about what if you steal something, then you will go to jail. If you are in so and so country, you will go to jail. But if you are in some other country, your hands may be chopped off. Shastras do not talk about the current law, the system, the society's law that we are living in. And it keeps changing according to the time. It keeps changing. And what are the parameters of it changing? The society, the rules, the laws. How does it change? It changes based on three things. One is Kal. Kal is if you are living in a Sati Yuga, golden age, then at that time, or in other words, you can say Chetana, the level of consciousness. So if the level of consciousness is pretty high in people, you call that golden age. If it is little lower, some pollution has happened in the consciousness. If it is little lower, then you can call it, Treta Yuga, then you are Dwapar Yuga, and then Kali Yuga, where we are right now. In other words, you can say, or you can say we are in Dwapar Yuga right now, from two different perspectives, depending upon which perspective we are talking about. So Kal is one thing which decides what will be the repercussions of not living by dharma. Okay? In other words, doing some sort of adharma, doing hinsa, doing lying and cheating and stealing and all those things. Small things we are talking about here. So Shastras will never talk about the current timeline or the dharma, that the punishments that one may have to go through, the repercussions that one may have when these things, these dharmic rules are not followed by somebody. Exactly in the same way, the punishments in different yuga, different kal will be different according to the society, according to the level of consciousness that people have. So definitely in current times, in these Dwapar times, the level of consciousness of the people is not so much that these rules of courts, judges, and the rules of prisons, these may not be there. They are very much there, right? Because the bad things, the bad vrittis are still driving people. A lot of people are driven by them. So, Kal. Another thing is Desh. Desh means a place. Not necessarily a nation, state, or a country. A place. So, different rules or repercussions will a person has to go through depending upon which place he is born or which place he is living at. So, say for example, for the same stealing kind of a thing, say somebody is a thief or a robber, okay, and they might be going for some money heist or something. In one country, the punishment may be that they go to jail or to prison for 10 years or 20 years of time, depending upon how grave the robbery was. And in another country, their hands may be chopped off. In another country, they may get lashes to peel the skin off of their back. Right? So depending upon which place it is. Now, a lot of tribes live all around the world. Okay? Just in India, as a country, there are like more than 4,900 tribes that are living. These tribes, depending upon whether they are northern eastern tribes in India, or they are some sort of southern tribes in India, or Western or some other tribes. Depending upon which region they are in, they always have different rules and different things to follow. The court rules, until and unless that person commits, somebody from the tribe commits a crime with the person involved with the country's law and judiciary and system, they usually do not fight their cases or do not bring their issues to the courts and the judiciary system of cities and the Indian law that we have got. They don't bring it there. They will, if somebody is, doing some bad thing, raping or, molesting or doing some other bad stuff, they will punish them right then and there. If somebody is going through some sort of, stealing, if somebody becomes a habitual stealer or the thief and they are stealing something, then also the punishment lies then and there. So likewise, in China, there are lots of tribal people still alive and they are living according to. So they do not bring their issues to the government of the country. So it always depends upon the desh, means the place. Wherever you are born or you are living at, depending upon that place, that area. If you go to UAE or you go to some other Arabian country, the laws are completely different. If you go to a Western country, the laws are different. If you are in a Southeast Asian country, the laws are different. So depending upon which place you are at, those kind of laws will apply to you. And that's why anything that's so temporary in nature, right? Boundaries of nations keeps changing due to various reasons. Boundaries of tribes, the way tribe lives and moves all around the geography, that keeps changing. So these things are just so temporary in nature, so fragile, so futile. It would be a futile attempt to write the repercussions of not following some dharma properly and then trying to describe, okay, if you are in this place, this region, this area, this would be the punishment or that would be the punishment. Or this would be the way to get justice. Okay? Or that would be the way to get justice. So three things that it depends upon. Any repercussion of adharma will depend upon Kal, Desh and Chetna. Chetna means consciousness. So that is the third aspect. Depending on, and Kal and Chetna are tied together. What kind of consciousness people will be born in what kind of place or yuga or time cycle, how the time cycle of different Atma or different souls is, depending upon that. So all these things are not written. It cannot be written anywhere. So forget about Vedas not teaching us about divorce. Now why I am giving these examples of repercussions and justice and judiciary system when it comes to marriage and when it comes to divorce? Because these people, those who think that Shastras don't talk about divorce, are also not understanding one more reality, very stark, naked, dark reality, which is that we are denying the fact that if this is a lifelong karmic thing, that somebody that relationship has to be borne by both the partners, then we have to understand that, so that means all those who go for war, right? These people were in king's army, queen's army, and so many, they were protecting their area, their nation, their estate. Even in Ramayana, Rama was a king, right? And he has to go defend his place and his wife and his honor and everything. Same in Mahabharata. So go back go at least that much back to understand the context. Okay? And then try to understand that people will go to war. And what if somebody dies? If somebody's husband dies, shouldn't they remarry? They should. Somebody else should be there. What if they didn't die? You just don't know whether they are alive or not. Then also somebody else should be taking care of children. What if husband and wife both are gone? Then also somebody else should be taking care of the children. What if one partner, So divorces in our society or in today's modern world are not happening other than few very rich, pompous marriages, early marriages. Divorces are not happening because, people are just living in their whim and fancy and saying, okay, fine, now I don't want to live with you, I'll live with somebody else. So, I just want to give you divorce. No, that's not the biggest cause of divorce. Biggest cause of divorce in today's world is domestic abuse. Serious domestic abuse. And that includes financial abuse, that includes emotional abuse, and that includes physical and sexual abuse. That's the reason divorces are happening around the world. And it doesn't happen with just one small fight in between among the partners. It may happen because there is a sustained history of, there is a historical data of, okay, that guy is a hitter, and don't think otherwise that only women go through mental, physical, and emotional abuse. I have seen men in the worst kind of a condition. That too, they were dealing with physical abuse from their wife. Repeated physical abuse over and over again. Now what do you think? That poor guy shouldn't his marriage end? Shouldn't we just give him a break? Shouldn't we get him justice? Who has the right to hit anybody? Nobody. But some women can be mentally deranged. They may get anger issues, and same goes with the men. Don't you think such marriages should be broken? Who is there to say how much karma there was for the other person to go on bearing it? No, there is no such karma. Nobody is allowed to do such karma where after, despite all your education, despite all your, everything in the best that your parents can give you, still you go on hitting your partner. And here I'm not talking just about women being hit. I'm also talking about men. Think of all those men, those who go through mental and emotional and at times physical, real bad physical abuse as well. And it's just that they are not hitting back. They do not want to become that animal. So that's the reason. Such marriage, such things, such relationships should end. Marriages are not for forever. No Shastra ever said all your karmic bondages are for forever. No, Shastras are teaching you otherwise. That if required, you can break any and every karmic bondage. For the right reasons, you can break any karmic bondage. And yes, some people do have that kind of a karmic bondage with 3 people, 4 people, 2 people, 1 person. So they may get married again if they have children. They may not get married again. It's up to them. It's not up to Shastras. Shastras are not telling you all that. Anything that depends upon Kal, Desh, and Chaitana, level of Chaitana, about that, repercussions of a dharma in context of that is only written in terms of karma. Shastras can only tell you, okay, if you do not follow pratyahara, then this is the kind of karma you will make. Okay? These are the karmic repercussions of these things. But who is there to tell anybody that your karma with so and so person is 100% over? Who can tell that? Who can guide people in that way? Nobody can. Does everybody understands and knows about karma? Believes in karma? Understands karma? No. So then, In that case, how to determine that? So never ever think that divorces are some Western formula. No, the divorces are not Western formula. Divorces are bitter truth of today because of so many reasons. After marriage, a partner may become, mentally unstable, may become abusive. A partner may start abusing children in the house. Male or female, I'm not talking about who or gender here. The partner may, start visiting brothels or other places, such places. The partner may get some kind of a sexual disease. The partner may not be able to give the sexual satisfaction to their other partner. And that is very much written in Kama Sutra and Rati Rahasya and so many other Shastras. They are also Shastras, right? So it is written clearly there. Your partner cannot produce children, or if your partner is not able to sexually satisfy you, that is written for a woman, then that woman can leave that man. Simple. So definitely, if in today's world where one marriage is legally allowed, definitely you'll have to divorce in order to marry somebody else. Right? So these rules where you say divorce is a Western thing, no, it's not a Western thing. If we are calling it Western, then in other words, we are saying the reasons for divorces and those atmas, those souls which create the reason for divorces were never born in India in the first place. Really? Nobody will become handicapped in a marriage. Is there a guarantee? And what if they cannot provide or do not want to live with their partner? That happens. Not just mentally challenged. The partner can become physically challenged as well. And then life may go south. The one who became handicapped wants a divorce. I've seen so many cases like that. Not out of some sort of, that they are doing good or that they are doing it. No. It's not like that. They just want to spend life alone. Period. Some people become sannyasi after marriage. There's no timeline that when the vairagya will happen and the call for moksha will happen. So you should finish your grihasthashram in 25 years and then only you will go to vanaprasthashram. No, it is not like that. It does not work like that in practical life. Parents want all the kids and everybody to be married between 21 and 24 or 25 years of age, and then you may be a vairagi. Then what? Buddha left, right? Their house. He left a child. He became a sannyasi, he became a bhikshu, he was a vairagi. Vairagya happened. So is there a timeline for vairagya to happen? No, there is no timeline. Does vairagya look for, you are married, so let that dispassion be away? Does God think like that? Does Paramatma think like that? That just because you are married, I'll keep the yearning for me, I'll keep it away from you. No. So when one partner leaves or becomes physically or mentally challenged or commits a crime and is behind the bar, don't you think there should be somebody else to take care of the kids? Is it easy to raise kids alone? Ask those who have them and who are doing it. It's not. At any point of time, if any one partner who is taking care of kids, their first thing is These children need both. So if I can provide, I will provide. If I cannot, if there is no way for somebody to enter into my life and to help with my kids and everybody, then that's a different story. Alright? So all these people, those who think Shastras do not talk about divorce, then they are denying the fact that in India, there was never a situation or a person or a karmic combination of a person who would have never become, the need of it, breaking that bond, never arise in anybody's life. No, it's not like that. That's like denying the reality, right? A lot of people became sannyasi. A lot of people just leave the house for unknown reasons. A lot of people are gone to wars and stuff like that. A lot of people just don't like their partner because they are not compatible before any abuse starts happening. So you see, there are some very dark truth that you will hear from all kinds of divorce lawyers around the world, and including India. You'll hear some really dark truth that they will say that, murder is cheaper than divorce. So you see, you want to waste the entire human lifetime for a relationship. Nowhere in Shastras are teaching you that waste your entire lifetime just on one bad relationship and your marriage may be bad. If it is your karma, that is the kind of person you got it. You deal with it for some time. Karma has an expiry date. Karma is not something that goes on and on for forever. No. Karma gets over. Karma has an expiry. And what if somebody has that expiry right 1 year after the marriage, 6 months after the marriage, 10 months after the marriage? It could be a possibility, right? 5 years after the marriage, 10 years after the marriage, 20, 25 years even after the marriage, 40 years after the marriage. It is a possibility. Karma has an expiry and you know it. Those who are living it, they know it. That I'm done. This is done. So karma expires. Those who are trying to get out of karmic cycles, they very easily can. Yes, here I'm not talking about people going for divorces on their whims and fancies. Oh, just because I don't like your nose, I don't like the way you talk or walk, let me file a divorce. No, I'm not talking about such silly, crazy people. We're not talking about them. We are talking about serious people, serious issues in the society, and the dark reality of the world that we live in. The dark reality of all those middle class people, those who are going through all these things. Just because Indian judiciary and Indian court systems are so blocked up and so clogged that, divorces for middle class people is a war. It's a big thing. Financially, it breaks them, and that's the reason. Financially, socially, it breaks them, and that's the reason India is number 1 country in married women's suicide. The statistics of last 5 years, pick it up, look it up. Why do Indian married women are committing suicide more than 20-25 times more than the farmer suicide, some other kind of deaths? Why these number of deaths is so high? Only if divorce was easy, only if women favorable laws implementation was easy. I'm not saying there are no laws for women. Yes, there are very good laws for women in India as well. It's just that their enforcement and then implementation is such a lengthy process that a woman thinks that it's better I just die because I cannot deal with all these blockages in the system, all these things. Only if divorces were being granted quickly in Indian courts, only if women favorable or, partner, whichever partner it is, whoever is suffering, how much stigma is there still in India when a husband goes and complains to police or goes to a divorce lawyer saying, I am, being beaten up by my wife. And I have seen that first time with my own eyes. Men being beaten up by their wives. I've seen that. I'm talking from experience. It's just that those men do not want to become an animal and hit back. But when they go and complain, there's nobody to support them. People laugh at them. What kind of a man you are, being beaten up by your wife? So much social stigma. Just because one good guy is just trying to be good. One sane person is trying to maintain his sanity. Don't you think divorce should be granted? Such men commit suicide too. Such men get heart attacks too. I've lived all these things around in the society. I've seen all these things firsthand. So don't think, divorces are just because a woman doesn't like a man, her wife doesn't like her husband, or husband doesn't like her wife, or one partner is cheating on the other. No, these are the least pettiest causes of divorces. Divorce doesn't happen because of these things. Divorce happens for more serious reasons. And if it doesn't happen on time, then death do us part. Right? They say, till death do us part. Here in case of death, it's more like, till murder or suicide parts us. So it becomes like that. It becomes that bad. So never think that the solution for today's condition in the society, all the solution, the repercussions, especially those which involve some sort of a law or legal aspect to it, that the answer to everything will come from Shastras. No. Shastras didn't tell you how. They give you atomic physics, they give you quantum physics. Yes, Nyaya Darshan talks about a lot of atomic physics and stuff like that. But it didn't tell you how to invent refrigerator. Right? It didn't tell you how to break the atomic particle. It didn't give you a device like that to break the smallest particle into electron, neutron and proton. It didn't do that. It didn't give you all those things. So, they are the guiding principles for Shastras, scriptures, or you can take them as guiding principles for your life. What is the Dharma? What is the right thing to do? You can learn from Shastras. But what happens when you fail to do that right thing? Then what are the repercussions of that? That depends upon Desh, Kal, Chetana. Means place, time cycle, the times, the era, you can call that, and the level of consciousness in people. Okay? So think about that before you say that, gods do not have divorces. Yeah, definitely, gods do not marry in the first place. So there's no such thing as divorce. Till the time marriages were, happening just in the family, in the tribe, in the place like that, and maybe 4 or 5 people were attending them, but there was no other evidence. There was no such thing as registered marriage, because nobody was asking for that. I just do not want to live with this guy, or if he was an abuser, or man may say, I do not want to live with my wife for whatever reasons. I do not want to. So nobody was going to court. So there was no registered marriage. But still, there were people who would at least come and say that, yes, this marriage happened in front of us. So yes, the marriage happened. Proof of marriage was people who would attend the marriage. And proof of any kind of abuse was also the same thing. That yes, I have seen this guy doing all the time like that. Or I have seen this woman being that way. So the proof were the witnesses, the people around you, the society around you. And in that case, there was no divorce. You just go and live wherever you want, do whatever you want. You want to marry somebody else, you marry somebody else. So this is how the society functioned in earlier times. But when in a country, in a nation state, in today's condition, there are some Abrahamic religions as well, and you want to apply only one law, common law for everybody, regardless of, whichever religion or thing you follow, doesn't matter. So in that case, marriages became the, a cause, or you can say a issue of courts as well, because divorces were being asked, because crimes were happening, because abuse was happening, for which people were going and reporting to the police, and then court case was happening. That is when court said, okay, what's the proof of marriage? So then marriage got registered. Now in order to dissolve a registered marriage, you need a divorce. You need a divorce lawyer. So it's a whole business in itself. Get people married through court first. And without court marriage, without marriage certificates, you cannot get passports and visas of lot of countries these days. Okay? So you need a very solid proof, notarized proof of your marriage certificate. You need a very notarized proof of your divorce certificate as well. Divorce decree as well. So you see, it's a business that happened. But that business of marriage and divorce through registration and then deregistration, you can call it a divorce decree. So all that became the necessary evil of our society. Why people were committing crimes? People were abusing children. People were being abused, and children were being thrown out. And two partners are fighting, and their children became the ultimate victim of those things. So all those things were happening, and that's the reason. So don't call it a Western concept. Divorce is not a Western concept. It's very much alive and happening in a dark reality of a place like India as well. Don't say, usually when the statistics from India comes out about divorce rate, a divorce rate only hardly 100, say for example, hardly these many percentage of divorces are, divorce rate in India is 17%, and in America or other countries it's 60%, or Western countries it's 60%. That 17% is counted based off of how many court cases judges are able to finalize and give them. How many people were ready and for mutually consented kind of a divorce, amicable divorce you can call it. How many people were ready? How many people are just dragging the court case for 10 years, 5 years? I've seen such people. 9 years, 8 years, no decision. Life is not moving anywhere. And those who are ready, that also. So that percentage is because the judiciary system is like that. Because judiciary system is bad. Not because people are not asking for it and it's just that people are not getting it despite asking. So some of them ultimately commit the suicide because they can't deal with it. Court doesn't allow them this, court doesn't allow them that, and they have nowhere to go. If they talk about divorce and their problems and whatever abuse those housewives may be going through, or the ladies may be going through, highest divorce rate in the entire world, such a shameful thing. And here we keep on talking about, divorce is a Western thing. No, it's not. Just let the females and let the people, nice people, despite in the marriage, let them live. Okay? So that's a stark, naked, bad, dark reality of married world. So be mindful of when you try to use Shastras, the scriptures, for anything and everything. So, at one time, somebody was telling me, I don't know where did I read, or I think I saw some meme or something, where a guy was coming out of a restaurant without paying the bill. So, and when the owner asked the bill, for the bill that you have to pay, you ate here, and he just end up saying some Vedanta teachings like everything is Maya, this is Maya, that is Maya, and what is yours is mine, and what is mine is yours. After that, he got thrashed real bad. All his Vedanta scripture just fell away from his head. All his philosophy went down the drain. So you see, you cannot apply everything as it is in the context of your everyday problems, the societal problems, the life and everything. Yes, they are the guiding thing. They are the, you can call them lighthouse. So scriptures are the lighthouse. That if you ever get lost about you, about your soul and everything, yes, you can look at them. Yes, you can read them. Yes, you can gain a lot of wisdom from them. And that wisdom tells us from the Shastras, follow the life or live the life of Dharma. Right? Always live the life of Dharma. And then what is Dharma? For different roles, for different age groups, for different genders, for different kinds of professions, it ends up telling us what's the Dharma. But the ultimate Dharma of an Atma remains attaining moksha. And for that, you have to break any and every karmic bondage. All bondages are karmic, in fact. Karma and bondage are the same thing, exactly same thing. So, you have to break that ultimate bondage, karmic bondage. So those Shastras are teaching us about moksha. Why would they say the karmic bondages are for forever? No relationship, nothing is for forever. Impermanence of this entire naisargic world, samsara. Impermanence of the samsara is what they are teaching us. They are not teaching us the permanence, to look for permanence in any relationship whatsoever. But yes, divorce should be taken very seriously. And I haven't met anybody in my life or have seen people where they would talk about divorce or such things lightly, or that it's something fun for them, or as if they were doing it just for the heck of it. No. It was a very serious matter. It is a very serious matter for a lot of people. So, yeah. So necessary evil of our time, necessary thing for our time, because people are like that. Hope you understand. Namaste. Jai Shiva.